Alright, what is going on, everybody? We're back to the roots. Just want to take a quick sidestep here from the bolas list that we've been working on for a while. Again, it's like, going back to what I played before is kind of my control group experiment. I want to see where we developed into and from where we came from. Therefore, yeah, we're just making a little comeback here, and then we'll develop and reevaluate where we've been going. So let's jump into League. By the way, it's kind of funny how we are having so much success with this particular list, and no matter whom I watch, like who's copying our list, both Gabriel Nassif or whomever, be it pro players, non-pro players, some random streamers. I never see them actually have success with it, which kind of comes to me as a surprise. But anyhow. I think many things have gotten better and have improved gameplay wise, but certainly not everything. One thing that I would like to see, by the way, for future cards, like that I think is still missing, like Ricefall is a good card, and sometimes it's just bonkers. But especially on Magic Online, whenever your opponent, like I was playing against Tron, against Simon Gerson actually, and he had 7 cards in hand and 1 land. And you go Rise Fall, like fall, and you always hit that single land. It's really only useful if you know that your opponent doesn't have a land, because the program somehow will always hit that land. Yeah, what else is there? Yeah, the Lianas, as I already said, is quite of a meta game call right now. It's probably enough to play it this way because I don't see many Lingering Souls. And the last card to have in mind here is probably a Dreadbore. Something like this to have him out against a couple of Planeswalkers. But we'll get back here once we finish the league. My goodness. Why is there no match readiness something? There we go. Now we also have a notification. Fuck my life. Wanted to play that Torpid, of course. Come on. Instant punishment. Playing against Tron here. So we're looking for a Nimble Obstructionist here. which would have been great. I actually don't think that Acquisition of Kozilek is going to be much of a help here. But I'm going to discard it to have Snapcaster, Inquisition, and then have Cryptic Command up next turn. So if he doesn't draw a card off the top, the worst thing that can happen next turn is a Womcall Engine. Which of course would suck quite a bit, but probably something we can beat. Sanctum of Ugin. Oh, yeah. So this means probably that he already has found something interesting. We'll have to keep Cryptic up and wait for next turn to go with Thoughtseize and maybe then have a double punch with it. Playing that without So I'm waiting with the Jace flip here up until we draw a land or we know what we need to fight against. Ancient Stirrings. Lomok's pretty bad. But he has to cast it now. Ah, and he can, sure. What else? So the thing is, yeah, he cannot target our Jace here. All of these cards are good. Hologun's command might be the least valuable though. Yeah, I think. Alright. So I don't think he has anything. Should be left with a Sylvan Scry in hand. We hit hard for 6 now. And have a cryptic command. Perfect. Yep, that's GG. Alright. It's gonna go. Jace is gonna go. Lightning Bolt isn't great. Probably wanna have one of these. And that should be it. And we could also go with a single copy of Spell Pierce. Maybe that's even better than an Inquisition. Especially for the early turns. But even so, like turn 3 Karn or something. That's also pretty good. So it's gonna be turn 3 Tron. Gonna put both on top, though I'll probably play the fetch land next turn and see where it goes. Okay, interesting. So we can't be tracking that expedition map this turn. Prefers to go with the relic, which will maybe give us the time to get to Nimble Obstructionist and counter that expedition map. I think by playing it this way, we incentivize him to not tap out on his turn, so he can leave open that relic. Which then gives us the opportunity of what the fuck? See, this is quite interesting. So we knew about that chromatic sphere. We know these two cards that he has in hand. We could go after his Relic of Progenitus here. The thing is, if he does have the other Tron land, then this doesn't matter anyway, because our logic knot then wouldn't be able to delve enough. Since he... Come on. Is this a fucking joke? So what type of motherfucker are we playing here? could develop to be a great hand, but we would need to have another land for it to really shine. Gonna shock the Warrior Grave here, just in case. We were gonna draw a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition. I think the chance of that happening was worth the risk there. Not the good draws here, one has to say. Yeah, I think it's worth it to just go ahead here and risk everything. Because we don't really have many outs. He apparently doesn't have Tron yet. We have a little bit of removal. And in case he comes at us with a Karn this turn, he's probably gonna exile that Liliana. Since we have Liliana on board, I think we can skim on that Terminate. Ugin, okay. Probably does have another Ugin though. Beautiful. Now he already discarded a power plant. I think. Yeah. Therefore, I'm gonna go after the other power plant. Great. Well, he might have even won that one. So much Tron. Alright, we're playing against Storm again. Here we have to be careful. He's a pretty decent player. "21 trophies this season. Something one should be looking out for. Unsubstantiate, Noxious Revival, Monomorphose. It's probably gonna unsubstantiate that, yeah. Or remand even. Well, that's even better for him, of course. That was so obvious. So he could be unsubstantiating his own Goblin Electromancer here in order to save it. So I do not yet think that we're in that part of the game where we can actually pressure him with P and Kieran. If we had Nicol Bolas here, I might have played it, but he isn't even going for it, so... Yeah, so I think this turn we're gonna go Inquisition. Whew. Probably take Desperate Ritual here. And then play pink here in Lar. Force him to play Baral, basically. And let him run it into Liliana. No way. Oh, that's fine. That is fine. Great. So when I have that is it Steadycaster and these. By the way, I think I'm recording in high definition right now. Should be. It's a gambler's hand. But I'm a gambling man, so it's fine. That's certainly also not. I think he has, or he is facing. Put 2 cards on top. Okay. A very similar situation, I was gonna say. Okay. So if nothing happens here, I mean, he could potentially. He must have kept a pretty risky hand for the sake of maybe going. All right. Pieces of the puzzle. Perfect. Spell Pierce is like me bringing a knife to a gunfight or something. Just has style. So one opt's gone, this is still in his hands. So I think we're gonna go Bolt, Snap Bolt here. Spell Pierce is also great, but we need to do something. Give it a go. Oh, not. If we make it to that Nimble Obstructionist, we might be getting there, but our position right now is not really great. Okay. This land actually doesn't help us a lot. So he needs to have a great grape shot. And I know that he's playing 3 grape shots post board and 2 thing in the eyes. Sure. Do you really want to flip that thing? No, man. Alright, so we could of course counter that remand. Yeah, I think it's counter remand bounce thing. onto here, bounce there. So he's down to 5. Basically anything kills him. Whoops. Alright, good games. Here he is. 21 trophies, but just not good enough. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take a quick break, go for a run, and then I'll be back with hopefully good rounds number 3 to 5. See you then. Alright then, we are back for round number 3. Still haven't figured out what Source MTG is playing. I think the day after tomorrow I'll be using my time to finally brew up an Esper control list that I had been working on anyway for quite a bit, already integrating mission briefing and Unmoored Ego, because I think those two are gonna help out that deck significantly. On the play, this would probably be a good hand. On the draw, we'll have to see. Yeah. And the Flamewake Phoenix in graveyard already. That is not good. Okay. So an absolutely great draw for our opponent here. The question is, taking 6 next turn, 9, and the bolt, and we're dead the turn after that one. And we also can't really fetch anymore. On the play we might have been able to win this game, but on the draw I think this is just too rough. So Snapcaster Mage might buy us another turn, but that will depend on whether or not he has a Lightning Bolt in hand. Alright, let's see. We just take 3 damage. We can actually get there. But anything else will probably spell our death. Yeah. It's exactly 7. Okay, and these 3 out, probably out as well. And out. So I'm shocking the Steam Vents here because if he goes and plays a Flameblade Adept, then I don't want to be waiting. But that's at least going to be 2 hollow ones here. Okay. Him discarding that Thoughtseize though, definitely not a good sign for us. There it is. Screen gå meg egentlig. So he's going to down to 10 here. We can attack with one ring femoral for 4. We might actually be able to raise him. Unless, of course, his last card is a bolt again. That is quite interesting. If we pull the trigger here on surgical extraction, that's basically the 2 life that we're gonna lose anyway if we let it through. Okay. So it was actually a sign of weakness what he did there. Interesting. So a bolt still is lethal here. Damnation would also be great. Although he does have another land drop. How are we gonna do this? Just one life more and we would be winning this. There's just one type of people that I just cannot relate with. I do not know how people. Well, actually, there are a couple of archetypes that I would not enjoy playing, but That's definitely one of those archetypes. This one, Bridgevine, 8 wag. All these really retarded, all in aggressive decks, with which you basically win or lose until turn 3. What is going on here? Always the fucking same. Great. This looks somewhat better. Like a little bit of disruption and then curving out into Piankiran and Lore would be the best case scenario. I think that Inquisition is important enough for me. Unless, okay. Actually, this way, gonna take that scape shift as well. So that we can safely deploy Piankiran Lore next turn. And then hopefully just have our logic out the turn after that. Because he doesn't have so much ramp yet that he could just go play it next turn. Escape shift, I mean. Okay. So he has to have escape shift here. Or a cryptic command. So the question is, how good is Spell Pierce in this type of matchup? I could actually see it performing well, especially in Code of Wars, where like escape shift is the last line of defense for our opponent. Opponent could also be bringing in like Carnage Tyrant and that kind of stuff, but I think we just have to try and discard something like that. It's third, turn 1, search for tomorrow. Absolutely bonkers. So surgical extraction is pretty good. But it might not yet be good. We need counter spells. What is that? Search for Scanza? Trouble there. So our opponent's been going super creature heavy here. We're probably gonna run into a Huntmaster of the Fells, which we will kill and make him discard. So I'm gonna put this to the bottom as well. Jace, once it flips, can take care of that wolf here. And so can one refuel. Hold that. Okay. So just as Snapcaster Mage in hand. So that Valakut won't be online for a very, very long time. But we do need counter magic. Otherwise, our hopes are pretty lost. Not the correct type of counter magic, but that Fulminator Mage might be coming in handy here. Bottom the mountain, top this one. I don't want, as long as possible, I don't want to force him to make the Snapcaster Mage move, because I actually want to have Fulminator next turn. Alright, so how are we gonna play this? If we go Inquisition him, he's gonna respond with a Snapcaster Mage. We can Surgical in response to the Snapcaster. If he counters the Surgical, we still have our Nimble. It becomes problematic though as soon as he has a Scapeshift in hand. Another option here is though to let him have that Cryptic activation, counter the Cryptic with Spell Pierce, then go Fulminate a Mage on Valakut. And kill it that way. So the thing now is I want to still keep Jace around, and I think let's see, if we thought he's him, he didn't play a land here. Okay, just a Cinderglade. Therefore, gonna go on the wolf here. Then have a look at his library. We're down to 8 though. He only has 2 Volakuts. 1 Teferi, 2 Snapcaster Mages. Is it Charms, Hunt Master of the Fells, 1 Electrolyze. He just doesn't have any other win condition. Like, okay. So we somehow try to keep our Jace alive and then grind our way back into that game here. Because he should like mostly be drawing either counter spells or lands. I hope. Or he's drawing the only fucking out he has in his entire fucking deck. Okay. So he has one spell in hand, or one card in hand that definitely isn't a counter spell. Okay. So he's just filtering his deck a little, I guess. And everything else comes in tapped. Okay. That's somewhat surprising. I mean, sure, all of the lands are gone, but no fucking shit. Tap for counter squall. We're gonna get punished here. It's my bad. Oh, not being punished. Great. Alright. Actually, Field of Ruin, Surgical Extraction is not too bad. Field of Ruin is not really interesting, but Surgical is not bad because of Snapcaster Mage. But I think I'm just gonna... It would definitely need PNQ and LR. I guess I'm gonna discard Cryptic. Otherwise, we can also go next turn Inquisition to protect P and Kieran. Alright, let's wait one more turn. Everything else seems to be too risky. Good. Tackle Jace, great. Not a cryptic, not a cryptic, not a cryptic. Okay, negate is okay. Great. Put a card on the bottom. Sure. So let's play this as safe as possible. Okay. So I would assume that he has a Snapcaster Mage in hand now. If he waits up until our turn. What's that? Oh, another Huntmaster. Okay. Okay. That is quite great. A click. We could actually lose on the spot here. Yet still our opponent has so many dead cards in his deck right now. And I'm fine with basically anything but a Snapcaster Mage. Although Cryptic Command is also pretty bad. I hope that it's a good sign that he doesn't know what to put back into his library. But by now I'm just assuming that he has at least a Snapcaster Mage or a Cryptic Command in hand. Is it Charm? Okay. So the problem here is that we don't actually have too many options here. So let's see. I definitely want to go with collective brutality. The optimal thing to happen would be brutality resolves, kills the wolf or the Vandalion Clique. We attack with the Torpid onto Jace. I assume that he doesn't have a Snapcaster Mage in hand, otherwise he would have probably acted differently. But a cryptic command could always be the case. So there is a line where we, with our first Jace, target Counter Squall, then with the second Jace, target Collective Brutality, kill the wolf, get to life, but then we don't have enough mana anymore to kill that Jace. What we could also do is we're just gonna go with Collective Brutality here. Two modes. No, actually, don't think that he has something important in hand. He could have a Cryptic. Not gonna argue about that. It's a risk that we're taking. But I think the safe line here, like the safe line that I outlined with Counter Squall as backup, probably not gonna win us this game. Okay. Okay. That is somewhat weird. Because now we still have the Thopter, so we cannot attack through it. We have Jace to block the wolf, and we have Torpid to kill the Jace. mean, we don't know what is on top of his library. He does, but to me that was somewhat of a weird choice. Okay. Search, sure. All right, now we do have a cryptic, which by itself, of course, is great. So everything we're doing here is based on assumptions. I think what we want to do here is return and draw a card. Here's another counterspell. All right, let's head into the last round here. That's the very reason you never take out your bolts. I think that dude's always playing blue-white. Could be mistaken, but that's what I think. Yep. Oh, I love it. Forgot about the nimbles. Sad, mate. Sad. Dum 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 dum. Snap. Oh, click. All right. Did he just take a lightning bolt? And we instantly drew another one? Crazy. All right. I honestly think that I'm gonna terminate here. All right, so most importantly, we want to not have him play a search for Scantum. If he has one, though, all the better. Which apparently it doesn't. All right, I think we're gonna go after Lightning Bolt. Path is annoying, but can be played around. And I'm gonna... Actually, maybe I'm not gonna counter the opt. I think Spell Pierce is actually gonna be very relevant at some point in this game. Alright, so what I'm thinking about here is if he goes for the Field of Ruin because his cryptic command is otherwise non-active, then we would bounce the whatever land he's acting on. And then we have Spell Pierce as our backup source if he does have some sort of counter magic. So what do we know? What do we know? 5 cards in hand. Could have a logic knot. It's a little bit awkward that he doesn't go for anything here. So my plan here is for him to run into or his Teferi into us. And if he doesn't, then we still have plenty of opportunities. Okay. So it doesn't really change anything though. I think I'm gonna try playing Painkiller and Lar here. Probably has to answer with Cryptic. And now I'm gonna scare him off playing Teferi with those Steam Vents. Okay. Actually had a dispel. Interesting. Is that his second dispel, by the way? Negate dispel. Still not going for it. But only 2 cards in hand. Let's see. We would have the means to go cryptic. But why would we? And that was not the correct card. Okay. All right. A good league, but not the best league. I'm a little pissed about those 2 losses. Well, actually, the Hull one is just a loss, but the one against Scapegoat shouldn't have been a loss. There, I just boarded it wrong. But anyhow, overall a good league. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you around, guys. Alright, what is going on, everybody? I hope the resolution has increased, because I put everything up to the maximum. So let me know if there's a change in how you can watch the video, because I actually have no clue about those things, and I hope that worked out. Other than that, things I do know about, like Magic, we're jumping right into it again. I think I was pretty happy with the configuration of yesterday. One Liliana Last Hope is probably enough, and 2 Lilianas of the Veil are keeping us safe in many situations. Also, this way we do have a little more removal spell downstream here, whereas we cut 1 Terminate, so Liliana of the Veil compensates for that to a certain degree. And I think Izzet Zedicaster is overdue. We can probably switch that one out. Despite the fact that Lingering Soul is still pain in the ass, but we have Nico Bolas to block, and Damnation in our sideboard. So Lingering Souls right now is also just not in a great spot, because Blue-White is running around with so many. Oh yeah, now I remember what I wanted to do actually. Now, we do have to, whoops, get a couple more cards because of the blue-white scheme. I wanted to put in clear deck, counterflux, 2 pieces, and I wanted to have 1 more steam vents. So the reason for this is that we're really, as I said yesterday already, Field of Ruins just ruining a lot of our opponents. And since we're relying on the first 2-3 turns to be as disruptive as possible, I actually want to have the third copy of Steam Vents in here, because usually we lack either, no, actually we always lack red, but a basic mountain doesn't serve me well, because we don't run double red anymore without Pink Kieran Lore, and therefore I think a Steam Vents is what we need here. And then Counterflux is coming in for the Zedicaster. Then we have 6 additional counter spells in our sideboard. Which should be enough to get ahead of control decks again. I mean, we've never fallen apart, but Blue-White does have a lot of tools, and with Mission Briefing coming in, those tools will just be even more plentiful. And therefore, I want to be prepared. And then when Ego is coming in, Ego is probably going to replace that Fulminator Mage, because it's a little more versatile. Although of course it becomes a little worse when you're falling behind and there's already something on the board. So where are we here? There's Counterflux, and there should be another piece of Steam Vents as well, right? Field Ruin. Alright, if I don't find it here, then we'll just add one to the deck. What just happened? Why does it say -2? Guys, why is my deck not legal here? One cement. What the actual fuck's going on? Okay, still not. Sometimes, I'm sorry for the fuck, why do I only have... It took all the other cards back. Yeah, those are only the cards that I own. That's not a lot. What the fuck's going on here? Oh man. Alright, let's try again. Didn't even realize that we returned the other cards. Also, I didn't see it. Well, anyhow, so yeah, so this slot is probably gonna be Ego, and the other slots are pretty fine as they are. Just gonna wait here for a bit. Also, Conflux, really good against Agnosium, which I think, I mean, with Unmoved Ego, Ad nauseam's probably not gonna be that good, despite not being in the meta at all, like with blue-black. Besides us, I think I don't know how long I haven't been playing against a Grixis control deck or Aspa control or whatever, like a blue-black base control deck. And therefore, we will see if Onward Ego does anything there in terms of meta share, but usually it shouldn't. It's just not strong enough of a card. Alright. Finally. Alright, there we go. Possibility is that we rent more than 100 cards, and if that's the case, they might just force you to return the others. It's a weird system. Alright, so are we here? Cement, I saw them, yes. Boom. Alright, there we go. Ah, it's beautiful. 8-0. Jump in. We're playing against the professor again. An Eidolon, you say? What the fuck's going on here? What is this? Burn spirits? Is this a spirit? No, it's a spirit. Well, I guess we're taking the Eidolon. Since we have the Colgan's command, I'm not too worried about Ethervile on the draw. Alright. So I'm gonna pass the turn because he only has a lightning helix, and I don't want to run into a Mausoleum Wanderer because there's one road that we don't know about, and he shouldn't be able to prevent anything unless he has a Boros Charm. Alright. Alright, cool. Well, I called it, kind of. Played around one thing and ran into the other. I think this is quite over. I'm not gonna discard the Jays because I think we're gonna lose this anyway, and therefore I don't want to show him cards that he might not know about. Alright. So he's probably also gonna play Geist. I wanna have this. I wanna have Spell Pierce. Not really right now. Well, I wanna have Spell Pierce. I wanna have Collective Brutality, Counter Squall, and Counter Flux. Probably not. Reducing a little bit with this here. Nimble Obstruction is not great. Alright. Yeah. So the prof had a perfect draw there. I run into a Boros Charm. But on that, I think it was fine. So Mausoleum Wanderer, that a thing here? Yeah. So he's playing that one as well. It was a 50-50 chance if we're running into this or a Boros Charm, and therefore I think it's fine. It's good that he's waiting here for us to do something. Because now he's running into our counterspell. And I definitely want to counter that Rattle Chains. Not only because it protects well, but also because of the flash ability for all of his other spirits. Now he's going to be able to play a Boros Char, Drogskull Captain. Well, okay. Let's see. I think we're gonna since we're still playing against like burn creature decks somewhat, I'm hesitant of fetch shocking here. Therefore, we're just gonna do this. Get a 2-for-1, and then followed up next turn with collective brutality and Jace. What the fuck? Opponent's drawing insanely well. So Flooded Strand's gone as well, right? This is gone, this is gone, Boros Charm's gone. I'm expecting him to wait until we can protect the Drogskull Captain, because it's so important. Okay. Let's have a look first. Two Drogskulls, sure. So let's see, if we hit the Mausoleum Wanderer here, let's have one land right here. So by reducing the power of Mausoleum Wanderer, our Lightning Bolt actually becomes live. That's why I waited. Because now we can go, like when he flashes it in, we can respond to the trigger and still kill the Drogskull Captain here. which is pretty good. I didn't get that one. Yeah. Didn't get the memo there. Sure. Is there anything else we want to be doing here? I'm actually not sure if Ricefall is super great here, because he has too much disruption. Opponent's on a mulligan, we're on the draw. I think I'm gonna keep it. Any blue mana will activate our entire hand. But we will have to draw something soon. Otherwise, the game could just run away here. Oh, shit. Alright, it was too risky. Only card that might be able to save us here is Kalitas. Okay. So I think we're gonna tick up here to prevent another Mausoleum Wanderer. Yeah, just to prevent the triggers coming on the stack here. If we manage to get Kalitas down, I think we stand a chance. Okay. Taking 4. Damn this shit. Yeah, I mean, we're dead to basically anything here. Just Kalitas or bust. Was this turn? Next turn doesn't even matter. Mausoleum Wanderer is protecting his Eidolon too well. No. Interesting deck. Might have lags actually. I think like up until now, I think this was the strongest I saw spirits whatsoever. But what really lost us that matchup was me not playing Kogan's Command. Well, you know, it was unfortunate, but still. Just buying ourselves a little bit of time. Now we're playing against Sahili again. Sahili combo. Alright, so he doesn't have another land drop. But he's going to find a Voice of Resurgence. He could of course just kill Noble Hierarch. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Good. It doesn't attack. Desperately finding. Okay. That's also weird. He should have played Wooden Foothills from his library. My opinion. But just saying. Terminate. Terminate's good. Let's get rid of that one. Validar Guardian. So we can either flip Jace Validar Guardian and the reveal card zone. We don't have the means of emptying his hand here. We could go Fall and play it very risky. No, that's just... Another Voice of Resurgence. No, I wasn't mistaken. I was just checking. I blocked here because now we can play Rise on this and Snapcaster Mage. Or we just play Fall. Getting rid of both Validar Guardians, or Courser and Validar, in his hand. We'll need to attack our Jace. Could of course also just go with Nicol Bolas, but then elemental tokens still gonna be relevant. Sad that we're a little choked on mana here. We could of course also just go return Snapcaster Mage, get rid of the elemental, and then play Snap in order to block Eternal Witness. Doesn't seem like a great plan as well, though. He's also at 9 life already. Okay. Alright. So we could of course just hammer it at them. I think I'm going to do that. Play Nicol Bolas here. Make his attacks not look good and then kill him next turn. Eldritch Revolution, certainly a good one, but he needs to find something that has some sort of life gain. Restoration Angel. Okay. Now Eternal Witness on. Okay, good. Everything, just not Corsa. He's not going to block. Well, then I can't help you, mates. And then I just can't help you. I guess wasn't his best hour of glory there. This is not gonna be good. Actually, so since we don't know if our opponent's gonna be playing a Voice of Resurgence turn 2, I'm just gonna start off with a Ceremonies here. By the way, the mana base already feels a lot smoother than it did before. Just being able to fetch for an additional Steam Bands, like having the access to double red and such, is great. Hmm. Okay. Got a Teague. Sure. It chose to not play any of these in order to get Restore Angel down. I mean, sure. See, I don't understand and that one would bring in a Baneslayer Angel against a control deck that is, planning on killing you anyway through stuff. So I think we're going to keep tight here for a little bit. We could, of course, pressure him with Creeping Top It, but I want to have access to the mana here, since we know about these two cards in his hand. Hmm. Yeah, Folk could be good at some point, but probably not worth it without a graveyard. Definitely need to be digging for Nicol Bolas here. Courser is a pain in the ass. It really is. Found Witness and Reflector Mage. Not the two cards I wanted to hit, but they're nothing, I guess. Okay, this is actually good, because now we can kill it. And then we do have enough mana to activate both tar pits. I'm just not, yeah, so I didn't do that because of the Courser. Just one land fucks up our whole story there. And so still alright. Okay, I think he's dead. Yep. Damn. Oh yeah, I put in a picture just for you guys. Don't have many good pictures of myself, therefore I took the one where I'm dressed up. Hope that's not cool. That's not uncool, I mean. Yeah, seems alright. Okay, Eldrazi and I wanted to say Eldrazi and text, but that's actually not correct. It is just so if he does have an Eldrazi temple, then he can play a Thought-Knot Seer turn 2, which he doesn't. What the fuck? Didn't even click on anything. So we definitely need to kill that Borea Druid. Just to get a little bit ahead of his mana curve. Fuck, we're already at 13. Well, Draws your obligator. Hasted. Alright, so Thoughtseize is gonna go to the bottom here. Lightning Bolt's definitely gonna go to the top. Damn you. Yeah. Do not actually think that this will work out. Ancient Searing's pretty good. The good thing is that we're getting life back the whole time. Because he actually needs the colored sources. And yeah. So we know about these two cores at his hand. I think we might be waiting one more turn here, right? Fuck you. Okay. Kazakh Wolf Run is a little bit of an annoyance here, this way or that way. Can we race? It's gonna add 2, so it's a 2-turn clock. Bolt kills us. I guess we can't. Cryptic is good. Probably will keep us alive for one more turn. So we can activate it for 1, 2. This taps for 3. If it taps out though, I might be inclined to just go bounce this, draw card, and then we try to race him. Because usually we would like to bounce the Snapcaster Mage, but Trample just goes over it then. So he's at 9 life, 7. There's the lightning bolt. So I think I want to kill it anyway. Oh guys, this is gonna be great. We're gonna attack for 2. Then we're gonna play Rise on Snapcaster Mage and Snapcaster Mage. Then we're gonna play Snapcaster Mage. Targeting a lightning bolt. And bolt him. What a tough game. What a freaking tough game. We churned through, I believe, yeah, 3 Bloodbraid Elves, 2 Ancient Searings, Meta Reshaper, and Reality Smasher, and 2 Eldrazi Obligated. Oh my goodness. Great. So, So nimble obstructionist is definitely not gonna go in here. I think I want to have these 3. Cryptic command's good, but Hydraulic Temple is still a thing, so we're reducing a little bit on that front. And bring in 1 Collective Brutality. Opponent's already on mulligan. Mulligan to 5 into turn 2. I thought, yeah, would be insane. But it happened to me already. I was playing a Super Finals or Invitational, just as the Star City Games Invitational in Europe, and he was also on a mulligan to 5. I was on the draw, and he goes Temple, Thornotsia, which of course isn't a great feeling. Alright, so I'm keeping our options here open to counter that Thornotsia that might be coming here. Some of the lists even run kitchen things, oh my goodness. Don't actually think that we need to counter kitchen things. Of course, it will reduce our speed significantly. But we do have Kalitas and we do have Nicolo. Therefore, just want to get rid of that Thornotsia and then play into Kalitas. Alright, just as you wish. Then we're going to do it differently. Oh, bitch. Not an obligator. Fuck. Yeah, we're almost dead here. Like on board. Not entirely, but close to. 13 damage. That is uncool. So we need to brick him to have him brick for 1 turn here. Then we should be able to get back into the game. So multiple things that we can do here. Usually I would like to play the nickel bolas, but since we're only at 4 life, and if I fetch here, then the bolt kills us. Therefore I'm just gonna keep my feet tight for a bit. Oh. Cavern of Souls on elves. Interesting. Oh my god. And this member. Which member? Yeah, it's very good that I didn't play that nickel bolas. We don't know if he had the blood braid or the cavern in hand. Actually need to fetch here. Alright, that was a fun couple of games. I actually think all of these were very intriguing, very interactive, very good games. I'm gonna take a small break and get some stuff done, and then I'll be back with round number 4 and 5. See you then.